excluded from participating in future opportunities for public comment. Please be courteous and respectful. Please turn off or mute all cell phones and pagers. I will. Thank you all for getting here again tonight, or being here again tonight. Like to welcome.
You said it, I did.
I'd like to welcome our newly elected councilors to be soon. Less bigger staff, little fellow sitting there, Jim Cooey, the little guy sitting back there. Christine, the good looking one sitting in front.
I hurt my feelings. I thought that was
That's the other good looking. All right. We have a bit of a business meeting tonight, but to begin with, we will, well actually, I think we had James App on here, but he's got his answer to his question, I think, so. All right?
Good luck. Yeah, but no.
Have that back. All right, mayor and council comment. Are there any?
There is, I'll go last.
I have an announcement. I have an announcement
No?
for the Moose. The Moose Lodge is having a, December 23rd, a John Denver impersonator, I guess, or, and we would like to welcome everybody. It's going to be free of charge, but you can donate, and all the donations, brought in that evening are going to go to scholarships, to high school. So,
What's the date on that?
December 23rd. You know, I don't know. I would say, yeah, I'm not gonna guess, because I don't want to get it wrong, so, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to thank all the people that came and helped put the light bulbs and the snowflakes. They are up, and most of them are working. There's one that's not. And they're not here, but I'd like to thank Lane Electric. Without them, it wouldn't be possible.
Yes, very good, thank you. I'd also like to welcome a citizen from down under, Katie. Want to stick your hand up? Katie Ann? She's from, she's from Australia. Katie's here visiting from Australia, visiting the Barclays, and actually it's Dad and Elizabeth's daughter, so welcome.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
everybody, well, a few things, and most of it being a bit personal. 37 years ago last month, I uttered my my first oath of commitment to a country, and I repeated that oath several times. A little over 9 years ago, and these are the three that are most important to me. A little over 9 years ago, I made a promise, a lifelong promise, to my lovely wife, and I plan on keeping that, same as I kept the one before that. 2 years ago, I made a promise to everybody in this room, everybody in this town, to accept the balance of an individual's term. I believe I've kept my promises in all three instances. The election is done. I was not at the meeting. It's my first meeting since the last meeting. Congratulations to the three candidates. What you will find, as a word of advice, take it or leave it. On this council, you have to agree and disagree with everything and everyone. Because when you get in the habit of agreeing along factional lines, that creates an agenda that's inappropriate on this council. You have to weigh the merits of both sides of any issue, people, and quite often the people that you need to listen to most are the ones that are telling you what you don't really want to hear, what you need to know, not the sunshine. Congratulations to the three of you. Obviously, there will be people that agree or disagree with the outcome of the election. I thought it would come out differently, obviously, but I agree with the people's choice, and it was theirs to make. It wasn't even close. respect the choice that the people made and support whoever sits on this council. Somebody once said, to tailor it a bit to be gender correct, for evil to flourish requires good people to do nothing. When you're sitting on this council, current councilors, future councilors, do something. You are elected to a position of responsibility, not popularity. And what you say will never be right with everybody. Do what's right, not what's popular. This will, like I said, I made several oaths over the years. My last one was 2 years ago next month. This will be my last and final meeting. I will continue to leave my email and phone number for another 25 days, at which point I will delete about 1,400 plus off the business account. And I'm looking forward to getting back to the most important promise I've ever made in 56 years, and that's the one to my wife. And we will go back to the life of the business that we came here to build, because without her support, you know, the council, with the exception of with Councilor Callahan and Baszler, allowed me to sit here, and I appreciate them for that. The majority of the people thought I should no longer sit here, and I agree with that. I appreciate the support, the learning experience, and now I'm going back to the promise that is most important to me, because I couldn't have done this job without Elizabeth's support and patience. She's worked as hard at this job as I have. A little bit long, but I think that covers it.
I have a question. What was the promise?
My promise to you was to forsake all others. That is everyone in this room and everyone on this planet. That has not been entirely true the last couple of years.
No, it
It will be true henceforth.
Have you offered out your man and wife?
Thank you, Tom.
Humans can do that.
All right, are there any more council comments? All right, moving on to 4.0, additions, corrections, or adjustments to the agenda. Are there any?
Yes, Your Honor. 6.4, if you all could please delete that. That will be brought back to you in February. What it is I was not aware that the building department had to contact the state 45 days prior to the public hearing. So, a lesson learned on my part, so we will be bringing it back in February.
I'm gonna send you a bill for the 4 hours I spent looking at it twice.
Well, anyway, so that's that. 8.2, surplus bicycles for the police department. And Your Honor, I believe you said that you wanted to add something.
Discussion on chapter 30 ordinance.
So you want to make that 6.4?
Right.
A fee waiver.
Oh yeah, we need to add a fee waiver, make that 7.4.
That would be the lady in green here.
Yes.
Not agreed.
Your Honor, can I just check one thing real quick? Is January the 13th open? Do that at, I think they want 11:30 to 2:30. On the 13th. That's for Madeline Duncan's retirement.
That it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, consent agenda. You have the minutes before you.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Those in favor, signify by, no, let's not do that. Let's do it the old-fashioned way and ask people to say their name.
Mayor Shorey,
Aye.
Councilor Baszler,
Aye.
Councilor Callahan,
Aye.
Councilor Fortune,
Did you want me to say my name or just?
No, I
Aye.
say whatever.
Councilor Clark,
Aye.
Counselor Barclay,
Abstain.
Counselor Twardowski,
Aye.
Motion carries. Alrighty, Administrative Services 6.1, City Administrator's Report.
All right, as you know, the Atherton saga is continuing, and I was on the phone with the city attorney today, so that is ongoing. And they've asked for some additional documents. As y'all can tell, every time we continue anything, they ask for more. So we will be giving them the additional documents that they need to continue with that, with the foreclosure process. On the bond issue, I have all the required documents gathered, ready to go. I've got them all ready to go, and I just need to do the transmittal letter, so that won't be done tomorrow. I have to go to court tomorrow, so Monday I'll do transmittal letter and shoot that stuff to the bond company. Let's see here. One of the key issues that kept coming up over the past year was, I guess, perceptions and attitudes within our office here. You know, there's a little friction, and I think we're working very hard to minimize and mitigate that friction, basically from a customer service standpoint. And we're starting to get some positive comments, so looks like we're headed the right way. It's going to be a long road, but we'll continue to keep working on that. So, the dedication of the library went well. There's about 20-30 people in the beginning, but over time, people kept drifting in and walking to the library, so that went pretty well. The audit piece, I'm going to leave for Susan. One thing I think I've mentioned is that we're going to need to do a supplemental budget, and the reason is one is we did not plug in the library into the budget when we did it. So I'm gonna have to do a supplemental budget to add that back in. Should be fairly simple, money in, money out. And the other piece is I'm gonna have to also add in $155,000 for the new ambulance. So that needs to go in also. So hopefully by the end of the month I can have this done, and it'll probably be one of the first things that the new council members will be looking at. Okay, probably more than likely, if not the second meeting in January, the first meeting in February. I should have that ready to present. So, and I may be making some other adjustments, but I'll present all that at that time. Let's see here. One of the things that we have felt really hard is in the public works arena. Okay, we've been running now, I guess over a year, almost a year and a half, with 3.5 people, and we are falling behind really bad. So I've been looking at the overall budget. Yes, and we have been pinching, and I believe that we are in a position to probably bring back a public works person. So we really need it. I mean, we're hurting, we're not completing a lot of our tasks, we're not flushing our pipes, we're not doing a lot of those things that we have to do, we just don't have enough people. So, the person that I'm looking at is one of our persons that was laid off, and they have a number of certifications, so that's a plus, water, sewer, and a Class A driver's license, so I think it would be very beneficial to us. And then that allows the public works foreman to allow his people to take some time off. So that's been very difficult also, to allow people to have time off. Last thing, and I think I spoke with some of the new counselors coming on and some of the current counselors. We've been talking about doing a strategic plan. So it looks like I'm seeing a lot of affirmatives. So I will be contacting a third-party facilitator next week to try and get that set up. And hopefully we'll be doing something maybe by the second meeting of February, possibly starting down that road. So, and when I talk about a strategic plan, that's not just the council, That's just not staff, that's going to include a body from the community too. So we've got to, and that group has got to be a mix. Business, general citizen in general, education. So it's got to be a full mix for the community also when we do that. So I don't want, it can't be just, we're telling you this is what we're going to do. We're going to need to take input and feedback on this process. That's the last thing I have, Ron.
Thank you. 6.2 City Recorder Finance Report.
The council approval reports, I hope you all got them through your email.
Couldn't open it.
Okay. You couldn't open it through Adobe?
Likewise.
Nobody could open it? No.
Came with a DAT file,
Yeah.
but if you turn around and convert it, you could open it, of course I do.
Okay. All right, well, I will make copies and have them in your box. I'd asked Louis about it and scan them and then send them out. Thought maybe we could cut down on some paper.
It's
So
a good
I-
idea, it's just, yeah,
Well,
That
we'll
was the
just
way
try
it
a
came up
different,
from our scan.
try a different file.
Well, it's the way maybe I'll have to convert them to a WordPerfect document here. That's how they came to me from the scan, from our scanner. I just ran them through, scan them, and then send them out. So
I
may have
converted it to an Excel file.
To Excel, did that work pretty good?
You could forward that to the email.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that all right with all of you if he forwards that, and then we won't
Sure.
make a paper? All right, awesome. All right, I'm gonna pass around the financial report. This is as of yesterday for our, cash account. Only one ooh, I was expecting that from everybody.
And probably a property tax.
They haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, we've had property taxes.
Don't need to, it's December, we'll start paying property taxes.
Yeah, property taxes have been coming in this month, so the total available right now in our Sluice Valley Bank, and this is after outstanding checks, and that includes the November payroll, is $918,563. The Safer Grant account has $30,000. The ambulance account has $61,000, and some change in there too. And the sterling is at 43.9, which brings us to $1,053,739.60. And that figure, by the way, does not include the LGIP, which currently has $258,000. And attached to your printout is the statement I just received from LGIP, so that is for November.
And does that 1.5 include the water bond payment, or is that?
It's already been paid.
This is after?
That's correct.
Yeah, it's already been paid, the ones that were due in December.
And was that,
We have-
did that also include the public workshop?
There was two of them, which two was it?
I think those were the two,
Yeah, there was
a
two.
large payment on the public workshop and the water payment, so yes, that is after those payments. Yeah, it's
So we've been receiving a pretty good amount from Lane County on the property taxes throughout the month. So this is pretty much
But
back
you're probably
towards.
realistically still less than half or even 2/3 of that.
I would say we're getting close to maybe about 60 to 70%, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably closer to 75 or 80%.
I haven't seen those proceeds before coming in, so I'm just guessing on that.
You get them twice a month right here.
Well, we get a little bit each month.
Yeah, and those are back, those are the delinquent ones usually,
Yeah.
the ones that pay late.
So the last three payments have been substantial.
Yeah.
We're still working on getting the auditor's information. They did do and complete the audit, a single audit on our library, and they're happy with that. We also completed the information for the IFA, who is the grantor, gets us the money, got us the money for the library. They also did an audit in July. They had a couple findings. We've addressed those. A lot of the biggest issues on that had to do with CPRs, which is certified payrolls, because the Bacon Davis wages, any contractor had to get information, and it was a lot to go through. So we forwarded those off to the IFA, and we're waiting to hear back if they're happy with all of that paperwork. If we know there's one CPR from a subcontractor that we're still trying to track down, and we've put in a lot of emails and calls to them. We're just waiting to get it back. And the audit is progressing along. We don't have the preliminary one yet, but we're contending for information as they request it from us. So we're still thinking it's on track. We should have it by the end of the month.
Susan, could you pass on to the council the primary piece that you and I have been working on for 3 weeks in regards to the OIP?
Okay, they're
Just short sentences, don't
short set. There is no short version of this, but I'll condense the version.
condense it.
Apparently, somewhere through the years, people were busy. There's lots on people's plates, and some of the information that should have been put into the city's books concerning the OIP, this is not a negative figure. It's not like we didn't pay something. It's the property, there was not a full accrual done on it during some of the audits. There was some property sold, including a piece last piece. It was never caught by any of the auditors either. It wasn't caught last year when there was a piece of property sold, and for the fiscal year that ended in the 10-11 year. So in doing the 11-12 year, we had another piece of property that sold, and being as a lot of this is new to me, I asked a lot of questions, and I asked Summer, I said, okay, I'm not seeing where's our full accrual for the OIP. So this was her first year too, so we started digging to find that, we couldn't find it. That, we went back and told the auditors, and we just came clean and said, you know, we've got a problem, here's what it is, and asked for their guidance on it, which I feel was our best way to go about it. We found something that wasn't right, and we're going to fix it. So we're digging through a lot of paperwork. John Melandon has been extremely helpful to me with a lot of explanations. Chuck Koenig was in this morning and went through some of the papers because he's been here so many years. He could say, nope, that was demolished, or nope, we're using that for storage. So we're going through a whole lot of papers and getting that full accrual. And once that's done, then we're going to get it to the auditors. We're working with them to make sure that we're, getting all the information they need so that they can go ahead and add that into the audits, and then it'll be complete, and everything will be, that we found that was an error that should be corrected.
So when you say full accrual, does that mean that it becomes an asset on our books?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, and it'll be reflected in the audit reports that it is there and what it's, the dollar amounts on it, in there.
So,
It was an omission that happened.
so in a nutshell, we've never been given credit for the OIP in all those years as an asset.
No, I stumbled on something else. You put me on the spot
Oh,
here.
you found some more? Break it out.
No, I actually dug and found a couple old audits from 95 and 96. In 96 and 97, the OIP was in the audits. I'm digging to find out where it kind of slid off and didn't,
Okay.
where it tippled off the plate and then pick it up off.
Still a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. It was, the amount of paperwork was just enormous to go through. So I just came across those about 5:45, and I didn't have a chance to talk to you. So I did scan them and send them on to Summer and go, well, here we go. So we're working on it.
Any other questions for Susan? Council?
Comment, not on that, off the old OIP. Correction on the library. Actually, we have a budget for the library. What I think the city administrator was referring to is money that hadn't been put in the $800,000.
Well, that's true. We do have the money to.
So we had a budget that we approved for the library minus the grant amount. And the budget, the supplemental budget is to include the grant amount. Correct?
Right, yeah, I mean, it's not in our revenues nor in our expenditure.
Right.
Okay, yes, we did not.
More correctly is like last year when the budget was being prepared, we're getting the date for completion of the library of June 28th. So when they were doing the budget, thinking it was going to be completed in June before fiscal year end, they didn't take that money and put anything in this fiscal year because they thought it was going to be complete. Well, it kept getting pushed back then, but the budget had already been submitted. So all we're doing is bringing forth the fund into this fiscal year, so to reflect that the construction wasn't complete for this fiscal year.
What's this latest line on OIP gonna do to our, getting our budget done before the end of the year?
The budget,
I'm sorry.
our audit, we're working on to get them everything they need, and we're still hoping that we have it by the end of the year. We're trying really, really hard not to let this affect getting that done. It's just a tremendous amount of work to try and to put all that together. But I've gotten most of the documents. I've even called in the help of Ed Hodges because he did some of the engineering, different things, and he sent me some documents he had to fill in some, some pieces on some information there.
And losing states and all the money we're spending on auditors, and they come up with things like this or whatever, it's what's,
This
it's been
one was-
this for 5, 6, 7 years or longer.
I would say that we're probably gonna find a lot more of these things have been working in the background as we go along, because we're finding them already, things that either got shuffled away or something, but, this is one that, got shuffled. My guess is the reason that the auditors didn't catch it was because the previous auditors that did catch it didn't pass on the information. Because this is these aren't the auditors that did the audit in '96, whatever. This is a different group of auditors altogether. So that would be my guess. I know the city administrator went over and dug through about 4 hours of stuff over at the industrial park. Found some clay tablets that had some things written on them. Surprisingly, some of the stuff was unknown to, I guess they call them archives for a reason. And but there was a lot of stuff in there that had to pertain to the OIP. So he's still digging out. Susan's still digging out.
But was there an abacus in the computer section?
There probably is. We just haven't gone run across it yet. Okay. Going down to